Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd do a fairly quick share in regards to talking about the subject of anxiety and anxiety disorder that, many of us, I'm sure, have suffered. I know I have suffered quite chronically many years ago, obviously more so than now, but that there's a predisposition. It's like there's an unconscious switch that tends to go off sometimes depending on what it is that I'm aware of. And back then it was more that there was the trigger was unknown. So it might have been a physical pain or something that happened in my body that flicked that switch of fight, flight and angst. So I want to talk about that because it's really important. And what I discovered many years later was that it was something that I actually created by myself. It wasn't something that I thought was occurring, that was something that was happening that was causing that, let's call it anxiety, fight, flight response. But it was just a manifested thing that I created myself, and yet I didn't know that I did that. And so this is how it is. What happens is we have a thought about something that's quite confronting or scary, and then we go into mania about it. In other words, we make it bigger than what it is. We create a story around it, and then the body goes into this feeling of fight, flight. So I want you to understand that, because it's very, very important that you do, because when we suffer anxiety, we are actually doing it to ourselves. So you might argue and say, yeah, no, but I actually have this happen and that caused the anxiety. Yes, I understand that. And life will always dish out what it dishes out. I guess for me, and it's only coming from this perspective about anxiety, and that is that I had to actually find a way to, while I was in that manic stage, to calm myself. And then the way that I did that was obviously just becoming present, looking at my senses, looking at things around me, doing the mindfulness techniques. You breathe in and out and you stay present to the now. And I did some things where I touched my fingers and then I touched my toes, and then I just took a few deep breaths, and by the time you know it, you feel better. So when you come to present moment, it is always okay. I say always okay because things happen. Life will deal the way that it deals. And with me, I've had many scares in my life that have granted the anxiety feeling, but then I've also had a lot of unnecessary angst about not being able to really kind of handle or manage my own sense of mental stuff. So what happens is, and this is one really good thing that you can actually do now if you are a sufferer, is just be present to what it is that's frightening you. See if you can pinpoint it, because what we do is we run from it, or we try to run from it, which causes more anxiety. So rather than try to run from it, try to do a simple technique, which is just a few restful deep breaths, just nice and deep, and relax everything. Become conscious of your own eyes and your neck and your back, and just be present and repeat mentally or even out loud, all is well, I am safe. All is well, I am safe. And just look around to where you are. And I often find that I personally say, I want the peace of God. I want the peace of love. I want peace. Whatever you want to choose to say, repeat those words, and you will feel better. You will. It's inevitable. And understand that a majority of the thoughts are rubbish. They aren't true. They're caused by fear. That's what it is. So yeah, I thought I would just give you a little spin on my version of anxiety and what it's like to manage it. I do have, obviously, there's a longer session for understanding the true depth of it, and what I do with my clients is I usually just talk to them until I find out, or try to see the triggers in what's going on with them, where they may not be able to see it, and then redirect them back to the truth of it. And quite often that is enough to subside. But people who have suffered chronically tend to need a little bit more of a longer practice. So yeah, that's a little spiel on anxiety. And if you do suffer from anxiety and you really need some help, yeah, get in touch. I'm really happy to try to help you help yourself. Okay, I hope you're having a beautiful day and take care.